At the close of this week's Seder of VaYeishev, we find Yosef HaTzadik languishing in prison, and even though he's placed on top of everyone, he doesn't belong there. He was never meant to be there. He had never earned a sentence. And lo and behold, he's able to interpret the dreams of the Sahar Mashkim and the Sahar Ofim, whose interpretations are vindicated 3 days later when the Sahar Mashkim is reinstated to his position before Paro, and the Sahar Ofim, unfortunately, is placed to death. And the Sedra ends that even though Yosef had requested the Sahar Mashkim, when you'll be reinstated 3 days from now, please tell them that I don't belong here. Set my case before the king and see that I'm liberated. Says the Pasuk, V'lo zachar Sahar Mashkim es Yosef vayishkachehu. Yosef HaTzadik's request was ignored, it was forgotten, and he remains there for another 2 years. And why? Says the Medrash Rabbah, based upon the Pasuk in Tehillim, Ashri hagever asher sam Hashem evtacho. How praised and how worthy, how bright is the individual who placed his entire trust and bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'lo fana el rahavim, rather than turning to those who are arrogant or involved in their own arrogant beliefs that they can attend to things and make things happen, or let alone are engaged in avodah zarah. And comes along the Beis Halevi and he asks the obvious question. He says, wait a minute, if the same pasuk refers to Yosef HaTzadik, Ashrei hagever shesam Hashem evtacho, that no one was a maimin like Yosef who placed his entire trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then why does the last portion of the pasuk refer to him no less? V'lo fana el rahavim, that indeed Yosef did unfortunately turn to those who are arrogant, namely the Sahar Mashkim, placing his ultimate Yeshua within his hands, needing to stay in the prison for another 2 years. So the Beis Halevi comes along and he shares with us such an important insight and philosophy in life insofar as how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. Says the Beis Halevi, we know that the Gemara Brachas Lamed Hey tells us in the name of Rabbi Shmuel, the pasuk states, we say in Kriya Shema every day, we're supposed to engage in life and try to make a parnasa. In an agricultural culture, we're engaged in farming. Zoom ahead years later, we have everything open to us at our disposal. We're supposed to engage in derech hateva, in the natural vein of trying to make a living to support ourselves. If this is the case, says the Beis Halevi, the Kadosh Baruch Hu clearly tells us in the Torah we're supposed to engage in our hishtadlus, we're supposed to engage in our own attempt and strivings to do that which is ours to do, to ultimately receive the bracha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from Yosef? He had the opportunity to remind this person that he was placed in prison against his will for a crime that he never committed. Where did he err? Where did he go wrong? And says the Beis Halevi that hishtadlus, that we are granted in life and obligated to engage in life, is always a function of the individual. Namely, the default posture of every Jew, says the Beis Halevi, is really to believe so much in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He'll take care of things. We're supposed to do what we're supposed to do, and we don't have to do anything beyond that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will provide us with parnasa, will provide us with everything. The only thing is, says the Beis Halevi, is that very few are generally on that madrega and could live their lives on that madrega. And therefore, says the Beis Halevi, Hutar lo hahishtadlus kedei sheyihye lo siyua sheyagia lemadregas haboteach. We're permitted to do things in a natural vein, to serve as a medium and an assistance for us to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and place the rest beyond our attempt and beyond our ishtadlus, beyond our input, in the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, everyone's different. For one individual, he may have to work 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, in order to feel that he really is giving HaKadosh Baruch Hu the opportunity to look at him, to understand his level of bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that it's less than it should be, but he's trying his best, and to please bless him with the fruition of his efforts. For another individual, maybe only 20 hours a week is necessary. For another person, maybe only 10 hours a week is necessary, because he has such an emunah and trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. L'yolam yasok adam b'Torah shelo lishma. The Gemara tells us that we should even try at times to engage in study and learn Torah, not necessarily for the highest sake, but for ulterior motives. Shemitoch shelo lishma ba lishma, because sometimes in life, Baruch Hashem, when we do things not necessarily for the right reasons, they lead us onto the path that's the more correct one. So therefore, says the Beis Halevi, we're permitted and we're obligated to ask ourselves in life, what is my madrega? What is my level of genuine bitachon to Kadosh Baruch Hu? And if I realize, not false humility, but I realize that I'm anything but a great tzaddik, I have to engage in ishtadlus, and I have to work hard to be blessed. If a person does that, and he is fully well-meaning, then a Kadosh Baruch Hu will reward him, that after his ishtadlus, he will be blessed. If, on the other hand, he engages in greater hishtadlus than he should be involved in, then a Kadosh Baruch Hu will reward him with having to engage in greater hishtadlus in order to receive that which a Kadosh Baruch Hu would have given him anyway. Says the Beis HaLevi, Yosef HaTzadik was on such a madrega, such a level of believing in a Kadosh Baruch Hu, that at the end of those 11 years in Mitzrayim, sold by his brothers, thrown falsely into prison by the wife of Potiphar because of false accusations. And then he yet not simply mentions to the Sar HaMashkim that he should please remind them, as the Pasuk says, that when you are returned to your post, you are asked by me, once you are returned, Ki im zachartani idcha kasher yitav lach. But Yosef goes further and says, Vehizkartani el paro, do me a chesed, and remind me, a second time reminding, unfortunately, that was below his appropriate madrega, and for that he's punished another 2 years. Life is so difficult, trying to make a shikul, a balance, into when we're supposed to engage in something even further, with greater depth, greater intensity, to try even harder, and when we're supposed to simply take a step back and say, I've really tried significantly. Now I have to try less. Now I have to rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Eibishter had greater places. Kadosh Baruch Hu has brighter places, huge shoulders. Sometimes in life, always in life, we have to try to do what we understand from HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ours to do. But once we've done that, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu take care of the rest. Have that bitachon, have that emunah, and God willing, we should all be zochen to the kind of Yeshuas that we need individually, and the kind of Yeshuas that is so desperately needed by Klal Yisrael as a whole. Have a wonderful Shabbos.